so I'll go straight to the Associated Press.
Thanks, Jay. For fear of stating the obvious, the White House right now is confronting a confluence of issues. Benghazi talking points, IRS reviews of political groups, Justice Department review of journalists, phone records, and in every instance, either the President or you have placed the burden of responsibility someplace else. On the Benghazi talking points, it's been political motivations on the Hill. On the IRS, it's been the bureaucrats at the IRS. And on the Justice Department issue yesterday, in your statement, you said those matters are handled independently by the Justice Department. But it is the President's administration, so I wonder, doesn't responsibility for setting tone, setting direction, ultimately rest with the President on these matters?
Well, the responsibility to set tone and to focus on the priorities of the American people is absolutely the responsibility of the President, and you see and hear him do that every day as he fulfills his duties as President. You know, I think you have to separate these issues, and I think if you look at the answers the President gave yesterday in response to questions on the one hand about the clear political circus that Benghazi has become, and his response to questions about the reports of activity by the IRS, I think you see something different. He made clear that if the reports about the activity of IRS personnel proved to be true, he would find them outrageous, and he would expect that appropriate action be taken and that people be held responsible. He has no tolerance for targeting of specific groups, conservative groups, if the reporting is true on this, and he would expect action to be taken. But this is a matter, when it comes to the IRS, that is under review by the independent Inspector General. We have not seen that report. It is our understanding that its release is fairly imminent, and once we have that report, we'll be able to assess next steps. So at this point, we have to wait for the action of an independent investigator, if you will, the Inspector General, before we can jump to conclusions about what happened, whether there was a deliberate targeting of groups inappropriately, and if that's the case, what action should be taken. But you can be sure, and I would point you to the President's response yesterday, what his feelings are about this kind of action if it in fact took place. On the issue of what is a Department of Justice investigation, as I understand it, the President is a strong defender of the First Amendment and a firm believer in the need for the press to be unfettered in its ability to conduct investigative reporting and facilitate a free flow of information. He also, of course, recognizes the need for the Justice Department to investigate alleged criminal activity without undue influence. And as I said yesterday in my statement, other than press reports, we have no knowledge of any attempt by the Justice Department to seek phone records of the Associated Press. We are not involved at the White House in any decisions made in connection with ongoing criminal investigations, as those matters are handled appropriately by the Justice Department independently. And I understand there are a lot of questions about the reports about DOJ's actions, and from my background, I understand them well. But in this situation where the Department appears to be conducting a criminal investigation, it would be wholly inappropriate for me to have answers to those questions. I don't have them, and I have to refer you to the Department of Justice.